go ahead, go ahead.
Good morning, Captain Gutierrez.
Yes, good morning to all of you.
We are the third year Alpha Nautical, and we are here to ask you, sir, about the
Quietly.
preparations that are made prior to putting operations, sir.
So, you are asking the vessel, how the vessel do during or before the anchorage. Is that correct? Before anchoring.
The preparation, sir.
Preparation, okay. Candidates, you have to understand that there are two kinds of anchorage. The first one is outer anchorage. The second one is inner anchorage. So, open anchorage or outer anchorage, and the other one is inner anchorage. Open anchorage means you are not under the territorial of the harbor station. While inner anchorage is that you are inside the jurisdiction of that local place. I will give you some example. Suppose you are in a place where you want to anchor in the inner anchorage. The first thing you have to do is you ask the permission to the port, harbor, or port authorities, and then you will ask the latitude and longitude to where they want you to anchor. Because some places, class, they have very congested ship. There are lots of ships which they are already in anchor. For instance, Port Said, the Suez Canal, they are waiting for the transiting of that canal. So there are so many ships already there. And it is very hard for you to maneuver if you are not experienced captain. It is very hard for you to maneuver. That is why they have an outer anchorage where you can wait or you can stand by there instead of going inside the inner anchorage. So the first thing you have to do, class, is that you have to anticipate your speed. So do not make a full speed when you are approaching to the anchorage area. You have to slack your speed, half ahead or slow ahead or whatever. But then, you 2 to 3 hours prior of 2 hours prior dropping the anchor, you have to call the bosun and the deckhands to unlast both anchor. Both means port and starboard anchor to unlast. And then if they are acknowledge that the vessel, the anchor has unlast, then you have to pay out the anchor which you want to lower. For example, you want to lower a port anchor. So when the vessel speed is about 5 knots or 6 knots, you can now lower by gear. By gear means you have to lower it by the gear. You cannot lower by just opening your brake because it will go down directly to the sea. So lower it at least 1 meter above the sea water. So the port anchor must be lowered about 1 meter above the sea water. So when they already lowered the anchor, then you can proceed to the anchorage. Before you anchor, class, you have to again call the port station, the port control or whatever, and then ask them or ask permission that you are intend now to drop your anchor in the inner anchorage. So when you drop the anchor, class, before you drop the anchor, put your vessel into astern. You stop the engine first, and when there is no more momentum, there is no more speed, you can monitor that in your GPS. If the speed is no more momentum, then you can reverse the engine. If you are on the car ship, bear in mind that the bridge in the car ship is very far from the stern. Napakalayo ng pupa ng barko sa iyong bridge because almost all car ships, their accommodation and the bridge is in front of the vessel. So therefore, when you are asterning the vessel, when you are if your engine is astern, this slow astern, you have to check the bubble of the water. If the bubble of the water already in the amidship, means in the center of the vessel, then stop the engine. And then if you stop the engine, if you observe that the speed is 1 knot or 2 knots, you can drop your anchor by gear, at least one shackle to the water. Plus, before you anchor anywhere, you have to calculate how many shackle you have to pay out. So, the depth of the water always multiply by 5. I repeat, the depth of the water must be multiplied by 5. So, for example, your depth of the water, your seabed is 25 meters or 30 meters. So, 30 meters times 100 times 5 equals 150 meters. Then you divide it into 27.5 or 27.4. Why? Because one shackle is 27.4. So whatever the answer, then that will be the anchor you have to drop. But do not drop the anchor by just opening the gear. Because if you do that one, then you will lose the anchor. Always drop the anchor by gear. At least one shackle in the water. Because the heavier of the weight of the cargo, the weight of the load, the weight of the anchor, if you just open the gear, then directly he will, because of the gravitational force, then you cannot break easily the windlass. So you have to lower that by gear. So I repeat, the most important there is you have to check the location, what is the depth of the seabed, what is the depth of the water. And then you multiplied it by 5, that is constant. So if the depth of the water is 40 times 5, that is 200, then you divide it in 27.4, that will be the shackle you have to pay out. And do not lower it, just, you have to stop. Otherwise, if you just lower it, then the chain is just stay on that one place. That is why when you lower about to, for example, the depth of the water is 25 meters. So 25 times 5, that is 125 divided by 27. So whatever the answer, you just lower one shackle by the gear. And then if already one shackle in the water, then you can now open the brake. Open the brake means you have to relax. You have to disengage the gear. Because if you disengage the gear, then there is no problem anymore because there is a weight already in the seabed. If you are releasing the gear and the anchor is just hanging there, then directly you will lose and you cannot control the anchor. That is why so many ships, if the captain is not so experienced, then they lose directly the anchor. So the first thing you have to do is, before you go to the anchorage, you check the seabed, the depth of the water. Then call the bosun, and then you have you have to light the forward part so that they can easily move whatever they want. And then not only one anchor you have to ready, both anchor you must ready. After anchor you have to ready it. So you have to ready means you have to unlast, and then you put because after completion of the anchorage class, we have to put a gear, the stopper, so that no pirates can go on board like that. So that is the most important. And if it is possible, do not cross the bow of the other vessel which they already anchor. So for example, the current is easterly. The current is going to east. The current is east. So if there is a vessel which is they are also facing the east, then you go astern of that vessel. You go to the bow of the vessel which they already anchored, because this is very dangerous class. Because in the anchorage, as what I have told you, you have to slack the speed. And when you slack the speed, the current can push you at any time. And if you have a windage area, which is you supposedly you are, for example, you are on the container vessel or the car ship, the windage area is very high. Windage means the area which the wind can attack you is very easy. Except when you are in the tanker, because tanker is the windage is very low. Kasi malapit lang siya sa dagat. So kahit anong lakas ng hangin, hindi masyado siyang apektado.